Hey guys, take a look at what I've been working on. Oh yeah, some beautiful brushes. Really nice. Enjoy those and stay tuned for a most epic video coming up in just a few seconds. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Shaving with Rich. I'm excited about this video today because it is just gonna be awesome. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about synthetic brushes because I've been getting, seem to be getting quite a few more questions about brushes and synthetic brushes in particular. And so, although I do need a shave, I thought today for the video I would forego the shaving video and go into, instead of an actual shave, I would just talk about synthetic brushes to answer some of these questions for you, my viewers. And thank you for supporting the channel, for enjoying the content, for leaving thumbs up. Go ahead and leave a thumbs up right now and a comment below if you love these videos. It helps, and I appreciate it. So anyways, let's get into synthetic brushes. So just to respond and kind of answer hopefully several of my viewers' questions at once in one video. So that's kind of what I'm hoping to do. Although I have had questions about, all kinds of brush-related questions, a lot of them, a huge chunk of them, come from synthetic knots and questions about those brushes. So that's what we're going to do today, and I'll try and condense this as much as possible for you. So we're just going to start out with synthetics. Kind of, I have picked a few of my brushes that are synthetics, and I thought I'd show them to you, talk a little bit about each one of them, and if you have any questions, feel free to just comment below, and I'll try and answer your questions as much as possible, either in a video or respond to you in your comment that you leave. So anyways, the first synthetic brush that I ever got was, I actually got two at the same time. I got an Omega S brush, which I paid it forward to, and I definitely want to reorder that and get it back in my shave den, just because I feel like a piece of my history is missing. So, and I loved that brush. It was a small brush, as some of you guys have the Omega S brush, but yeah, it's a smaller brush, but it's awesome, and it's a real, for the money. I mean, they're very, very affordable, very inexpensive, and they're great to travel with, if nothing else. So anyways, I'll be definitely needing to restock one of those just to have on hand. But anyways, so going back to the early days, this is really what did it. I fell in love with this brush, as a lot of wet shavers did. This is not the earliest generations of synthetic knots, but this one, in my opinion, this knot, that we call it a plisson knot, or a Razor Rock called it a plissé, I believe, type of knot, really, in my opinion, made synthetic brushes and synthetic knots really just stand out, and they made so much ground and became hugely popular, largely because of this style knot, in my opinion. Very soft, very, very soft. What's awesome about synthetic brushes is they are so little maintenance, almost no maintenance. I'm not going to say that there's no maintenance, but it's so ridiculous how little maintenance so that there is with synthetic knots and brushes, and just in general. So you don't have to break them in. They don't require any break-in. They're ready to go right out of the box. They don't usually have any kind of scent associated with them, as some other knots may or may not. But a lot of knots that are animal hair sometimes can have a, that smell to them when they're, at least when they're new, and take time to break in. So this is awesome because it's just luxurious, and it's great for what it was, and it got me into synthetic brushes. So very affordable. Following that, I got this bad boy right here. This is the Razor Rock Hulk. It's the big brother of the monster. When this came out, this was a big brush. Then this came out, it was like jaw-dropping big. 34 millimeters here, 26 millimeters here. Both the same style of knot. You know, as you can see, they're both super luxurious, but a huge difference in those size of the knot. This is a 9-ounce handle as well, and that really helps when you're trying to load up lather to have that added weight. But there's one other thing that helps, and that's having the knots closer together by sitting a little bit deeper in your brush. So it gives a little bit more backbone. And this is just an example. One of the early brushes that I did really early on. My dad actually, let me just touch on this. For any of you guys that want to know how I got into making brushes, it was a father-son project. I got my dad into wet shaving after 50 years of shaving with an electric razor, and I never saw my dad shave a single time the whole time I was growing up until I introduced him to wet shaving at the Big Shave West. So I actually have that on video. Anyways, fast forward a little while after I'd introduced my dad, and he just took to wet shaving and loved it. He, you know, saw these cool brushes from the forums and groups, and he's always been someone that loves a good project. And so one of the times that I came down, he showed me a brush that he made that looks something similar to this brush right here. And you know, we had the idea, hey, why don't we make a project together, a father-son project, and together we will make a shaving brush to give away for my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. And that was, you know, coming up on, I think it was coming up on almost a year ago, roughly. So that kind of got me started. Even then, I had no idea that I would take to this and become a brush artisan, I guess. So, or make so many brushes. So, that's how if it wasn't for my dad, I would not be making brushes. So, those are the early brushes I just showed you. Now to get into, where did I set that? To some of the brushes once I started. Now these are 24 millimeter Tuxedo Knots, still synthetics of course, super luxurious, just like the previous brushes that I showed you. They just have changed the tips, so now we got white tips with the black, and they're still super soft. If you look at these, one knot looks bigger. This one right here looks bigger than this one. And that's because it sits higher in the brush, so it kind of blooms out a little bit wider. And it is going to have a similar feel to these early brushes here. But what I did is I took the same knot, 24 millimeter knot, and I set it a little bit deeper in here, so you can see if you look at the tips of these knots, this one right here is actually sitting deeper in the brush, and what that done is it pulled the fibers closer together. So you still get the same softness, but they're closer together, has a little bit more backbone. So I actually like this for face lathering. Now for bowl lathering, probably something different, you know. I love something like this for a bowl lather, to be honest, and it's good for it to have a little bit more to be not set so deep, just to be able to kind of be a little bit looser, you know. That helps when you're bowl lathering, in my opinion. So different kinds of knots and preferences, and everybody's different. It's totally okay. It's awesome. So just to give you an idea on that, those are 24 millimeters, and this is the same idea, just showing you with 26 millimeter. So this is the blood knot, and another one of the brushes that I made compared to the same, a 26 millimeter knot. Same thing, you can see the loft on these. This one sits a little bit lower and it's a little bit tighter, smaller. but it's more dense too. So for like face lather, also when it's a little bit more dense too, when you lather a soap, I think it helps to collect a little bit of the soap better because your fibers are closer together like that. So anyways, you guys can try it out. Your mileage may vary, as they say, and everybody's gonna feel different about, you know, their preferences. Just like it's no different with brushes as it is with razors or blades. You know, some people like an aggressive razor and a super sharp blade, and some people like you know, an aggressive razor and a, you know, less sharp blade, and some people like a mild razor, and every combination in between. Same thing with brushes, same thing with soap, same thing with all things wet shaving. And that's the beauty, is that for all these variables and all these tons of products, instead of having one option, you get this razor, cartridge, or whatever, and the gel, and that's it. You get to find out what works perfect for you. Whatever beard type you have, how, you know, there's going to be a setup that is just killer for it. So anyways, that's just a brief overview of brushes. And I'll let you go. Actually, you know, before we go, let me show you a couple brushes that I've been working on. All these brushes that I've shown you here, these are my personal brushes. I don't think I showed this one. This is a synthetic 28 millimeter Badger, silver tip Badger synthetic. Kind of wordy, but again, you know, synthetic. So they look different. You know, you can have a blood knot, you can have a synthetic Badger, you could have a Tuxedo Knot, you know, right here. Or you could have, you know, the original. Boom. These are all synthetics, and they're all awesome, and in their own way. So synthetics have come a long way, and they're awesome. Not to put any other type of brush down, they're awesome too. You know, whether it's like a, you know, Badger or Boar, you know, you gotta have them all. You try them all, like them all for their different reasons. But for this video, I think we're gonna conclude it there after I show you a couple brushes that I just worked on and that are still available, or maybe available when you watch this. That is right here. This one just came fresh off the lathe with the blood knot. Loving it. It turned out awesome. So that one's available. Got this one right here. This yellow, gold, and purplish color with a 26 millimeter synthetic Tuxedo. Kind of see how that one is. And I don't think I mentioned this one is a 24 millimeter. So, right there. Ooh, yeah. This is a 26 millimeter brush right here. That one's available too. It's beautiful. I love it. And I have more, but if you have any questions, feel free to, you can contact me through my email or leave a comment. But email is great, shavingwithrich@gmail.com, and we'll catch you in the next Shaving with Rich video. Take care.
As always, thanks for watching, and if you want to be notified when my videos come out, just click the bell next to the subscription. You can also find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook.